How does higher education impact career opportunities and earning potential?
Thank you for asking me that question. Higher education gives you the ability to hopefully develop your personal interest and your skill as it relates to your skill development, as it relates to your particular profession of interest in a more effective manner. It will allow you to take your professional knowledge and place it in a more disciplined structure. It helps you to communicate your ideas and see the world more globally, and it develops greater social skills, the ability to communicate effectively across a wider range of folks and a diversity of thought.
In what ways does higher education contribute to personal growth and development?
That's a great question. It enhances, first of all, one's sense of self and value, and it improves one's sense of their competencies, their ability to be competent at what they do. We're in a society where many people hold fine titles, but they're very incompetent in terms of their actual profession. So what higher education, the goal is to help individuals to develop a sense of great assurance at what they do, because hopefully they've gone through a series of courses and discipline structures in order to improve their profession to a point that they have a greater sense of oneness, selfness, and professional success.
What role does higher education play in fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills?
This is probably one of the most challenging questions that I've ever answered, because we live in a pluralist society where there are so many different areas of thoughts. There are so many different ways you can answer things. There are so many diversity of thoughts that are out there, and so one answer is not the penultimate answer. It's not the official answer. But from my desk, I believe that it helps to develop greater skills as it relates to listening. One of the challenges, there's an organization called Global Listening Society that actually started, I believe, in India, that talks about one of the challenges that the world has is the inability to listen. And one of the things that higher education can do is to help one to develop greater listening skills. This builds greater societies and builds greater communities, and it improves one's ability to succeed in life. All of the ability to listen more effectively and to know when to react and not to react, it helps to improve the fairness of equality. People talk about equity and diversity and equality, but equality, open access. I believe that when you have a greater fairness of life, then you are promoting a principle, or you can promote a principle more effectively of equality.
How does higher education influence social mobility and equality?
Well, we talked about equality earlier, the ability to have equal access so that every individual can have equal access. I would say the ability to entertain a variety of perspectives and ideas, to learn how to shape one's opinions in such a way that it gives values to other communities and other individuals, and to really work at improving our major concern about developing a unified life that promotes unity and cultural and acceptance of different societies and communities, and once again, the diversity of thought.
What are the long-term benefits of higher education for individuals and society as a whole?
One of the major issues that many people are struggling with is money and the economy. And what I believe a college education does, it doesn't always assure that you're going to land, for instance, the type of job that I had, which was a tenured professor for many, many years. But it will give you the development of skills, hopefully, that will help you to create your own, perhaps, business. It will help you to understand the value of creating a sense of stability for yourself as life moves on, so that as you age, you don't have the issue of struggling when you start getting in your mid 60s and early 70s. I am so grateful to my parents, my mother and my father, for emphasizing education to me as a child. And I grew up in a real rough area in Oakland, in East Oakland. But one of the things my father would always tell me, my father didn't read and write, was that he wanted me to have a better life than he did. And my mother spent a lot of time talking about me obtaining an education. And I'm so glad I was one of the people that really listened, because now that I've aged, I have a very stable income, a very stable life, and I'm very grateful to my parents for instilling that sense of common sense, basically, into me, so that I was able to stay the course and obtain my education in such a way that it now helps me at my age of 64. I had a very stable job. Everyone is not going to be as fortunate, but I believe everyone can create an income source that can assist them to live a more effective life in their senior years. Because that's a big concern now. What are people doing? There's so many seniors that I see, and sometimes it doesn't work, I want to say that, but there's so many people that I see sometimes that really, really struggle as they start getting older, and my heart develops compassion for those individuals. But I do strongly believe that one of the greatest gifts that we could give a young person is the gift of common sense. And common sense tells us that if we're all going to get old one day, we're all going to transition one day. And so we want to be able to take care of ourselves and leave for our children and improve society. And I believe those are some of the key components that obtaining a higher educational degree will help you to achieve. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me, and I look forward to continued conversations.